The markets consolidated early this morning, but notice how the Dow closed back positive today. Even though it was indecisive, it hadn't changed the investor sentiment, making the 50-day moving average still the likely target. And the Nasdaq showed the reason why candlestick analysis is much more easily to evaluate is notice how they opened lower today on the Nasdaq, but closed near the high end. So even though they opened it lower and it didn't close much higher, only 2 points or so, it still showed that after the open, bulls were still participating, that the uptrend was still in progress. The other little added benefit was that we wanted to see whether they would be able to close above the 50-day moving average, which on this chart shows it did just barely. So if we see a positive open tomorrow, that tells us the 50 is not acting as resistance. And additional evidence that the uptrend was still in progress was the transportation index, which, where the other indexes were trading indecisively today, there was still a decisive move in the transportation index, which is usually a leading indicator that if the transportation index is working well, the rest of the market should follow suit. And our explanation of why the patterns work so much better than just an uptrending stock is because notice how the pattern in Ross Stores, a fry pan bottom, that even a while back when the market was very selling off very hard, investor sentiment was still building up in this stock with the possibility of a breakout. And that is the expectation of a fry pan bottom, is the investor sentiment building up, and we can see it very slowly as far as the graphic depiction of this slow rounding curve, that when investor sentiment starts building up, when it gets out to this level, there's big possibilities of big moves. And today, RCPT announced their successful test on their drugs, or one of their drugs, and it looks like it's going to be opening tomorrow in the $85 area. So the candlestick signals and patterns continually put investors in the right place at the right time. That'll be it. We'll see you in the chat rooms.